Kumbali Express TV oluvanyuma lw'okuba nti omukulembeze w'eggwanga yavudde n'alumiriza Nandala Mafabi kubanga ate atunda ettaka lya BCU. Nandala Mafabi yavaayo ne yeerwanako mu mawulire n'agamba nti ye ettaka eryo agenda okuba nga ate ayingira BCU nga baalitunda dda, era nga yalumiriza muzeeyi John Wamulugwa n'agamba nti ono yali omutwe omukulu mu kubanga ate atunda ettaka lya BCU. Kakati olunaku olwaleero omukulu Wamulugwa naye avudde n'agamba nti nedda nange ke kaseera ntereza erinnya lyange, era agambye nti kituufu ettaka lya BCU lyatundibwa naye ettaka lya BCU mu kutundibwa lyali ligezaako kubanga ate lisasula amabanja agaali mu BCU, era ng'agamba nti ebbanja lyali wakati w'obuwumbi nga 2.7 awo n'obusente obugwako, naye n'agamba nti gavumenti yali yagala kubanga ate esasula essente ezo. Nandala Mafabi n'abulookinga Biden nga tanaba kubanga ate ayingira BCU. Wayingira BCU yagenda okuyingira nga BCU akamala okubanga ate etunda ettaka basobola okubanga ate bakendezaako ku mabanja, era nga Wamulugwa agamba nti essente ezo Nandala Mafabi yazinako accountability. Avudde n'alumiriza Honorable Nandala Mafabi n'agamba nti omukulu oyo azze akuba diiru nnyingi nnyo mu BCU, era agamba nti waliwo ne ssente gavumenti ze yakaweereza okumala mu myaka egisembyeyo nga 10 n'ezigwako. Agamba nti waliwo obuwumbi 54 gavumenti bwezeeweereza mu BCU okubanga ate bayambako abalimi, naye agamba ezo zonna ssente Nandala Mafabi azazikuba. Wamulugwa ayogedde bingi byesigenda kubanga ate neeyogerera okujjako okubanga ate muwa omukisa ayogereko ko naffe ku Mbale Express TV atubuulire ye ensonga zino azimanyiiko ki, nga we yali vice chairperson wa BCU jjukira nti yayingira mu 1995 n'amalamu emyaka egiweerera ddala egisukka 10 n'ekintu. Ye mu nsonga zino agiramuwa ate lwaki bali kuzanya blame game ku side zombi. So ensonga bwezi kyowe tugenda kubanga ate tukutuusako mukulu Wamulugwa katukugatteko omukulu ono asobola okubanga ate atuwa overview byatandikirawa era bituuseewa.
My name was Wamulugwa John Francis, and at the moment I'm 72. I'm almost 72 years, and with that age, I have gone through a number of things. I am a retired officer from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives because I am one person who trained in cooperatives. And after the training, I worked in government from 1974 and retired in 1994 under what was called voluntary retirement. It was a program, a government program of restructuring the civil service. So me, I opted to go out because I knew I could do my things in business, and because of the business, mainly general merchandise and coffee as business. In 1995, around November, I was elected a board member to this cooperative union, and that was in 1995. In 1997, I was again elected, but uplifted to the post of vice chairman of this cooperative union. And I remained in the union until 2008 in April, when we got a letter from the Register of Cooperative Societies, and they dissolving the board, alleging that they wanted to hold investigations in the union. Unfortunately, they didn't even hold the investigation, but the registrar went ahead to convene a special general meeting on 22nd May 2008, and that is when Honorable Nandala was elected to the office of chairperson of this cooperative union. You see, Nandala does not have any history of being in cooperatives. Even a cooperative business, in cooperative coffee, in society, they didn't have that history. But he took advantage of his office as chairman back to drive or some of these things until he became chairman. So there was a lot of political involvement in pushing to get into this cooperative union, and he has remained driving the union in a politically calculated way, to the effect that sometimes when he speaks, people don't even evaluate what he talks because he's in a big position. They take it to be true, and that is how he has driven the affairs of that union, to the effect that at the moment there is no farmer who has a say in that union. It's about him and the British Cooperative Union. And yet legally, he's only playing what we call a delegated function, because he's a delegate from a cooperative society which has shares in the union. But because of his political status, he has suppressed all cooperatives to make sure that those societies which do not believe in him, he will he will make sure that he doesn't allow them to participate in the activities of the what? Of the union. He will create all sorts of conditions to make sure that if you are if you are maybe not happy with the way he does things, he will not allow you. So basically, the people are disadvantaged because the Baganda have a saying that oli mugezi nga mubuulire. They don't know that Nandala doesn't know cooperatives. So Nandala has gone, he's well read, he has read, but he doesn't know cooperatives. That's why he will come up with all sorts of, will talk arrogantly about anything, or even sometimes in a way that he may not know that he's making even mistakes. So I am looking at him in a pitiful manner, because he's looking for big offices, and yet he has not yet styled up to, to know how to discuss with people in public things. I will now get back. I wanted to give you that brief so that you can know me and where from which point I'm being attacked and brought out into most of these things. Uh, According to His Excellency, I want to say it is true that Bugis Cooperative Union was saved by the government. It's not Nandala, Honorable Nandala, as he said. It was saved by the government because BCU got a business problem. In the course of its business, they made some losses, but the government came in to bail out the union. Initially, government had wanted to give 3 billion shillings to Bugis Cooperative Union as a bailout before the issue of selling the land would come in. The government had approved to give Bugis Cooperative Union 3 billion shillings to bail it out from the indebtedness. But Honorable Nandala himself, because he had hidden interests, using his office as chairman PAC, wrote a letter to the Prime Minister, to the Minister, and stopped that bailout offer of 3 billion shillings. I even have a letter. I even have that letter. I think I'll post it to his to his gundi to see exactly what Nandala wrote, stopping government from giving British Cooperative Union 3 billion shillings. So that it is bailed out. So, because of the government had already committed itself to support the BCU, we opted to sell the land. So the land was actually sold, and it was sold by our board. The valuation was done by the ministry, the Gundi, and the land was sold by our what? Our board. But for us, we didn't even get cash from the money. I mean, from the sale. The money was paid directly to the account of the Muzungu, of the creditor, and the balance of about 400 million was actually paid to the account of British Cooperative Union. For us, we got a letter dissolving the board on 14th. And we handed over on 24th. On the 2nd, the special union meeting was held, and Nandala became the chairman of the union. He found the BCU, the balance of the money on the account, and he actually defrauded the union because he started by closing all the accounts of the union that he found operational, then opened different accounts. Which means all the money on all the balances on the old accounts were freezed. So he opened up for new accounts. That is how he hid the money, which whatever the union had on by the time we went out of the office, whatever balances that we left on the accounts of the union, that's how he hid it. Now, how does the government takes on the land, starts to develop what? The industrial park. So it is true, government bought land from BCU and they developed the park, Lagoon. What is perturbing everybody is that government did not stop at buying the land. It started also advancing money to the union in the form of compensations. So the land was bought in 2008, not so? Around 2011, Nandala was dismissed from was suspended for investigations. The investigations were concluded in August. Another forensic audit taken in 2012, but he worked out with the ministry. And by then it was the minister, there was the Honorable Chambade, there was the Honorable Chikona, then there was the late Mutende. They decided to hide the report. And instead of implementing the reports according to the findings, the ministry arranged a special union meeting, put back an Nandala, and then they gave him all the reports that had been made, implicating himself. Now the question is, if the investigation is about you, the report is implicating you, and then the ministry gives you back the what? The report to go and implement. What do you do if it is implicating you? I think that is the biggest blunder which the ministry made. If there is any blunder that was made, it is the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Because after investigating Honorable Nandala Mafabi, the board, they put him back the very report, and yet those reports are implicating him. So Nandala, what he did, he has put those reports in limbo in the office there, and he doesn't want anybody to talk about them. So his attacks to me are planned to blackmail me. People maybe start disliking me. Even if I was not careful, they could even beat me because they know that I know the truth. If anybody goes out to ask him about the Commission of Inquiry report and the forensic audit reports which were done in 2011 and 2012, they are there in the office. What has he done? And who were the reports implicating? So my position is that I am not the thief, and I am not a thief. It is himself who is in collusion with some government officials within the Ministry of Trade and Industry, who are defrauding Bugis Cooperative Union and the farmers at large. I have a breakdown of all the money that was added on to BCU in addition to buying the what? Buying the land. And as of from 2015 to 2023, Honorable Nandala had received 54 billion shillings as a compensation from government. It is in black and white, and it is contained in a big report, a parliamentary report which was done in 2023. You remember there was a parliamentary report, a parliamentary investigation into money, into compensations of money to cooperatives. Bugis Cooperative Union got 54 billion. And all that is in black and white. It is even in his books of accounts. So when you look at the period he has been in the Guni, that union gets an average of 1 billion shillings per what? Per year in rent. For the 16 years he has been in the union, that's about 16 billion. Honorable Nandala has also not been benefiting from that only. BCU has also been benefiting from what we call tax waivers. Tax waivers. Because tax waiver is you see this BCU in selling processing coffee. There is local sales and export sales. When you sell locally, there is VAT which you pay. So all those companies which buy coffee locally from Bugis Cooperative Union, they pay VAT. And the BCU is a receiving what? Is a receiving entity because they're the ones who are selling. So far, I saw a waiver from government of about 1.3 billion. I also saw a refund to Bugis Cooperative Union of 900 million. I also saw an outstanding bill of 2.7 billion, which I think also became a what? Become a waiver. So, if there is anybody to be looked at as somebody who has stolen money from Bugis Cooperative Union, it is not me. It is Nandala himself. And for us now, this is a matter that should not be kept quiet. We can't keep quiet about it. We are demanding for the intervention of even the government. so that the money that has come to this cooperative union be investigated. We cannot be accusing each other. I am being accused and others are accusing the other. It is wrong. The matter must be investigated and the right person be put to book. We cannot talk about people's money merely choosing each other and like that. No, it is wrong. So I have come out because I think this kind of dirty linen being washed around ourselves should be ironed out. He is alive, I'm alive, I am able to answer for my take. If there is anything that I have taken. We also expect him to answer for what we think he has got from government to support farmers, and yet it is not supporting farmers. You see, the advantage with the Nandala is that he has been a very highly placed person in the government. You remember he was chairman committee of parliament, committee of economy, chairman park, at one time the director, leader of opposition. All these are very powerful positions. To us, we think that those positions have created him some friendship within the what? Within the governing system of the country. So I think he's utilizing it in a bad way to the effect that he could have built a network which he uses. For example, government was compensating money. A cooperative applies, maybe applies. The process is handled by the office of the registrar of cooperative societies. Once the process is concluded, the ministry puts it to the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance puts it to the budget committee. Ministry was releasing money. They released it through BCU. And we wonder why money for Gumutindo of about 9.7 billion, it is now released through BCU. And yet Gumutindo is an independent entity and BCU is an independent entity. And the person who requested for support are the officials of what? Gumutindo. Now, when paying, the money was paid through what? Through BCU. And that is how you can see all sorts of money floating around just because of those relationships between him, maybe as a person, and given his position and as chairman of the park and whatnot, is because of his relationship with what? The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperative. And we believe that the officials there who should also be benefiting from this money. So, when you make a whole, when you put through a torch into this matter, you will discover that it is himself who is more of a problem than me. And I think the public should now look at this matter objectively. Let him, Nandala, answer for issues where we are concerned, and for us we also we shall answer to our issues that we are concerned. Yeah.
Do you think there's anything personal between you and him?
There's nothing personal. There's nothing personal between me and maybe him, because for him, he chose also to be, despite that he was already a member of parliament and highly placed there, he chose to come back to be part of our Senate cooperative union. And to get into it, of course, those are political methods of how you want to marry somebody, let him get away, then you also get him. Maybe he took on malicious kind of propaganda because he also wanted to get what? To get into BCU or into the cooperative union. Otherwise, I don't have any background to what I would call a reason for us to disagree. And we are disagreeing on principle. On the principles of running a cooperative, which is a business for all of us, not a person as him. No, it is not. And it has never been. Because he was born in 1960, around what? 1965. BCU was formed in 1954. So you found BCU there, and whatever is there is there. There's nothing to justify him today to become, to make it a personal, to make it a personal entity and run it as a personal entity. So that whoever wants to ask him anything about your attack, you blackmail. So this game of blackmail is purely his style of what? Of working. This is the style